What if I told you that the quietest, most unremarkable guy sitting in the back row of your classroom was secretly the biggest rock star in the country, selling out stadiums, dealing with millions of screaming fans, and drowning in wealth? Sounds like a dream, right? But honestly, sometimes the pressure makes you want to completely disappear. Before I reveal how my secret life almost got me killed, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the Echo Tales crew. It all started the night of my biggest arena show. The adrenaline was hitting hard, but the walls were closing in. So, right in the middle of the concert intermission, I slipped past security, threw on a hoodie, and escaped with my girlfriend Maya. She promised we'd hit an exclusive beach party to clear my head, but when she pulled up to a private helicopter pad instead of a yacht, my blood ran ice cold. You see, I have a crippling phobia of heights. Maya looked at me and said, "Oh, come on, Ren. It's a 5-minute ride. Stop being so melodramatic and get over it. Don't ruin my night with your usual drama." I just stared at her. No empathy. No understanding. I turned around without a word and stormed off into the dark city streets. But as I walked, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. A shadowy figure in a dark cloak was trailing me. Before I could even yell, the stranger hurled a magazine directly at my face and vanished into an alleyway. I picked it up. It was a music tabloid with my face on the cover, but my eyes were aggressively gouged out, and a blood-red death threat was scrawled across the pages. The threats kept escalating over the weekend. My parents, who are ultra-wealthy corporate executives, finally put their foot down. They were hiring a personal bodyguard, and they wouldn't take no for an answer. I expected some boring retired military guy. Instead, the door opened, and in walked the most exquisite, fiercely stunning woman I had ever seen. She looked barely a few years older than me, with sharp eyes that could pierce through steel. I smiled and said, "Hey there, gorgeous. Are you sure you're a bodyguard and not my next co-star?" She looked back completely expressionless and replied, "I am here to ensure your survival, sir, not to entertain you." I laughed it off. "Right, you look way too young for this. How am I supposed to trust you?" Suddenly, a stray baseball came flying at hyperspeed from the neighbor's yard directly toward my head. Without even looking, her hand snapped up, catching the ball effortlessly millimeters from my nose, cracking the leather. She tossed the ball aside and said, "Trust me, because I am exceptional at my job. Your father has my combat record if you care to verify." I gulped, my heart doing a weird flutter. As she opened the car door for me, I accidentally brushed against her. She felt like absolute iron, but hiding her at school was a nightmare. When we arrived, Maya was waiting, and she looked furious to see me with a beautiful girl. She dragged me into the courtyard and snapped, "Are you serious, Ren? I know we had a fight, but bringing a model to school just to make me jealous? How pathetic." I sighed. "She's my bodyguard, Maya, and we are completely done after how you treated me." Maya scoffed. "Oh, please. You expect me to believe." Before she could aggressively grab my arm, Yuki moved like a flash of lightning, stepping between us and locking Maya's wrist in a painful, flawless restraint. She looked Maya dead in the eye and said, "Step back. You are violating his personal perimeter." My best friend Leo thought it was hilarious, but he warned me that Yuki seemed dangerous, like a beautiful machine with a hidden past. And he was right about the machine part. Yuki had absolutely zero concept of personal space. She stood at the back of every lecture, monitored my locker, and had a permanent ice-cold expression that gave me chills. So, I decided to break her. I stayed up until 4 a.m. to demand a ridiculously complex, 10-step customized Starbucks order, thinking she'd quit. 10 minutes later, she dropped the exact drink on my desk without a scratch. I dragged her on a grueling shopping spree, making her carry heavy bags. She didn't even break a sweat. Finally, I faked a leg injury to force her to carry me, but she moved like a tank. While she was distracted, I pulled the ultimate escape. I slipped out of a changing room window and hid, but the joke was on me. While hiding, I checked my phone only to see viral photos of Maya kissing my main music rival at a local lounge. Turns out she was using me for my fame all along. I officially blocked her number, feeling completely numb. Days later, my management forced me to fly to Paris for our massive European tour. Yuki insisted on a single condition. We shared a hotel suite for maximum security. That night, while she was checking the balcony perimeter, I accidentally saw a photo slip from her tactical vest. It was a picture of a smiling young boy. I felt a sharp, sudden pang of jealousy. Did she have a boyfriend? The next day was the mega concert. Thousands of fans were chanting my name. In the middle of my performance, I looked into the VIP wing and saw Yuki. For the first time ever, she was softly smiling at me. My heart completely skipped a beat. Suddenly, a red laser sight painted itself directly onto my chest from the upper catwalks. A hooded figure was aiming a suppressed weapon right at me. Before I could even scream, Yuki vaulted over the stage barriers, tackled me to the ground, and dragged me backstage as a bullet shattered my microphone stand. She saved my life, but the shooter slipped away into the Parisian crowds. When we returned to the States, the tension between us was unbearable. I needed answers, so I cornered her in the school library while studying for finals. Yuki, the boy in the photo, is he the reason you're so emotionless? The reason you won't let anyone close? She sighed softly, looking down. That was my younger brother. Years ago, because of my negligence, I failed to protect him from a targeted threat. I swore I would never let anyone under my watch get hurt again. Especially not you. Before I could absorb her words, a violent creaking sound echoed through the library. Someone had intentionally cut the support wires of the massive 12-foot oak bookshelf right behind me. It was collapsing directly toward my head. Yuki screamed, "Ren, look out!" and violently threw me across the floor. The heavy wooden shelf crashes down, completely pinning her underneath as dust and debris scattered everywhere. She took the entire impact for me. As medical teams rushed her to the hospital, the police launched a full forensic audit of the library's security feeds. And what they found blew my mind. The person who cut the wires, the person sending the death threats, tipping off the shooter in Paris, and trying to destroy my life, wasn't a crazed fan. It was my best friend, Leo. Leo had been fueled by a toxic, deep-seated envy of my wealth and secret musical success. He wanted to take away everything I had built. As the authorities dragged him away, I rushed to Yuki's hospital room. She was bruised, but her gaze was sharper than ever. She looked at me quietly and said, "Sir, I have to resign. I violated the primary directive of a professional protector. I let myself get emotionally involved. I can no longer be your bodyguard." I took a deep breath, stepped forward, and gently took her hand. "Good, because I don't need a bodyguard anymore. If I fire you right now, will you be my girlfriend instead?" For the first time, a brilliant, radiant smile broke across her face as she pulled me in. No one knew I was a famous singer, but in the end, the greatest thing I ever found wasn't fame or fortune. It was the person who was willing to shield me from the entire world. What would you do to protect the person you love? Let me know in the comments below. Smash that subscribe button for more legendary stories, and we'll see you in the next Echo on Anime Echo Tales.